And then there's some things that I respond because it seems obvious, you know, and it's like, well, that's where you got to catch yourself. Like, you know, this is how it should be done. That's obvious, you know, like, coming from a middle class suburb, you know, like, so I don't know, that's tricky to answer in an all the time way. Commitment to improving equity as a parent in all program decision making. I don't know, we're not going to say all, but it's definitely, it's coming up. I mean, if you go into any meeting room in the GSE, there's this like big poster of the equity lens, and it's like, questions to consider when you're making any decision so that you're considering an equity lens. You know, I mean, that it always gets the focus, but it's definitely the intent is there. Program leadership, educators, and staff regularly reevaluate program plan. Yes. I mean, I think this last bullet under number 4 is this is what I'm talking about right now. Like, even though we've had a program in place for a few years, like we revised it, then we had to revise it again for a TPA, and, you know, there's these little adjustments along the way. I really want us to go back through our curriculum map with that equity, literacy, and social justice standards piece, and, you know, reevaluate what we're doing, because it needs to be better. Okay, program culture for equity.
So this is just about, like, the program culture as a whole.
Among faculty, or for the students, or everybody?
Everybody, yeah.
Okay. How the program is examined. Seek collaboration with diverse groups. On first bullet of number 4, do you mean like diverse outside groups?
Yes, and within the college. So this could also be...
Okay. Oh, sorry. Yes.
Yeah, I'm thinking, you know, the different programs within the school that would seek students from diverse backgrounds, including those as well.
So one thing that seems relevant here is we're doing some affinity groups. We're doing affinity groups across faculty and staff, but then in at least one of the cohorts, we're doing affinity groups to try to work on that program culture and cohort culture. I mean, this is certainly part of the conversation, and it's certainly the intent, and clearly we're still reaching for the bar because there are still people sometimes who feel that their voice is not heard, you know? I don't know if that's inevitable. Like, is there a place you can get to where that doesn't happen? I like to think there is. So, you know, we're in process here. Yeah. Programs not considered non-dominant. No. Program leadership use leadership models for equity, but may not influence all decision making, or is not conveyed to program educators. That's not it. Program leadership uses leadership equity models. What do we mean by a leadership equity model? Like the model you were talking about from Education Northwest?
It can be, but I'm thinking even like the posting of the questions to consider in decision making with an equity focus. Those would also be models.
Okay. Yes. Of culture, continuing assessment of culture. Well, so GSE-wide, I'm on number 4, bullet 2. GSE-wide, we do a climate survey every year, and that's not just by program, but we do get data by program. we think about that carefully. I mean, I don't know, continuous improvement, yes, because you just always, like, these relationships are fluid and people change and, the makeup of the group changes. So even among faculty, we're, like, constantly navigating, various egos. Don't put that in. You know what I mean? Like, it's a constant attempt to improve the culture just interpersonally. Not that it's, like, terrible, but, there's always bumps in the road. Program promotes a community of learners to share and learn from one another. That's definitely true in the cohort model. Mm-hmm. And I think it's true, in our meetings, especially among cohort leaders, because they're so invested. I mean, so much of their life is about this program mm-hmm. that they really do just naturally share and learn from each other. Eliminating capacity to learn. Acknowledges the existence of achievement gap. Yes. Teachers and staff regulated. Some of these don't seem to, like, thread all the way across. Let's see.
Some of them don't.
Okay. So, I mean, there's definitely been, like, problematizing of the, the idea of gap gazing, right? Mm-hmm. It is the school's responsibility to address. I mean, I think that's definitely the stance. Program educators use their own cultures and cultural knowledge to improve and enrich the academic achievement of teacher candidates. I don't know. I mean, how can you not use your cultural knowledge to do all the things? And I mean, certainly our faculty use experiences from their own lives. Professional growth and development for equity are deeply embedded in a daily organizational practice. I don't know if professional growth for anything is embedded in daily organizational practice. I mean, daily organizational practice for me is like just like 200 emails,
Right.
Teachers and staff regularly examine their own or others' practice and dialogue and collaborate. I don't think it's that. The teachers and staff regularly examining each other's practice. Like, something I was going to suggest this year is that we all commit to at least spending an hour in somebody else's class and just, trying that on and seeing what it's like. People are so busy that doesn't happen. Mm-hmm. We certainly talk about materials, like if you're teaching the same course, we certainly collaborate that way, but I don't think not the way you are intending here. Collective responsibility and maintaining high learning expectations is evident. I think to a degree, I don't know. There's an ebb and a flow there, I guess, because I don't know what to say there. We all collaborate about the program. We collaborate about serving students, and this year I changed our meeting structure. We'll see how this goes. Where once a term, we're going to have all the faculty who are teaching the current term and all the faculty who are teaching the next term meet together for one of our meeting sessions with the cohort leaders and talk about student supports. So, the student who is having to spend a bunch of time dealing with, like, citizenship process and whatever doesn't have to go to every instructor every term and explain all that, or the student who, for whatever reason, like, has been late on all their assignments. Like, we know that going in, here are the supports that are in place. So I think that's taking collective responsibility. And then we have a structure